Hello again, everybody. Sebastian Keynes here with another Watch Our Realms video. In this video, I'm going to briefly be discussing about a new hero fighter that has been released here on the Forerunners server. She was part of a shard summoning event, so we did have to go after 200 shards to try to summon her. We were able to manage to get her into this account here in the free-to-play in the Forerunners server. What I can tell you about Helga is that she is a single target hitter. She does do kind of a burst damage because she will rapidly hit that target that she does focus on, and she basically also allows us to give us an opportunity to take advantage of her attack interval, and also the fact that she can CC with the stun. Many of the areas where I am seeing her become very effective on are single target, where you're gonna see single target hitters, and I think it's going to become very evident that she is going to be very good for the Lord of Sticks in the Immortal Codex, based on how fast she can actually rev up the damage and the hits for that matter. So you will see here in her basic attack, she will deal 60% magic damage to one enemy. So she will focus her targeting in enemy, and then if the target is not blocked by her, she will deal an additional 20% damage 2 times. When it comes to her ultimate, she would rapidly strike the target with the highest HP in range. So if there are multiple targets around, she will switch over her targeting, which can be a detriment because a lot of her damage comes if she just focuses on one specific target. Right away, you know, I was kind of thinking the guild boss she could possibly do well in, but unfortunately she does not have other debuffs along with her that accompany the stun. So there is no vulnerability, there is no bleed, there is no burn, so she really does not do very well in the guild boss, unfortunately. So she deals 20% damage 4 times, and for every X, which is seconds, the amount of seconds is actually 30% of the attack interval. The attack interval is depending on how much attack speed you give the hero. And as I told you before, during the ultimate, every 8 times of damage dealt with the same target inflicts a stun. And then there is when there's an ally ahead of her within one tile, it says that increases her crit damage equal to 10% of that ally's crit damage. So one of the things that I was trying to imagine is, where will this be applicable, right? And where exactly I could take advantage of this, because most of the time if I'm going to play her, I'm going to put her behind a tank. The tank typically is not going to have a whole lot of critical damage built into them aside from what is given to them with the base. So if it's 10% of that, you gain 15%, which is not bad. If for some reason the gear that you give your tank has some more critical damage, she could possibly take opportunities to get to use that critical damage. So based on her base statistics, you could alleviate some of the lack of critical damage that you have from your gear by giving her attack. And you can see her attack, so her base attack is fairly low, so it's 5,000. So you could build her with attack, not worry too much about the critical damage, and hope that you can make that up with your tank or whoever you place in front of her. And then you can try to boost her attack a little bit and get your gear going in that regard. You can see that her attack interval is at 2.6, so once you start adding attack speed, this should be decreasing, and then you can take advantage of her specialized attack speed that she does have as her talent, and then you can possibly get more damage out of it. And then of course, the quicker that you get her to go, then she will soon, this stun will come into effect, I guess, a little bit quicker as well. So it's all this little things to come into play when it comes to the hero here coming into play. So let me show you a little bit of what I did with her, just to kind of give us an idea of where she can excel and where she will fall short. One of the first areas that I just decided to try her out, just because I wanted to see how well she did in terms of managing waves. I just brought it to the last stage of the faction trials, stage 8, the all, where you can pick any character you want to complete this stage. So I'm setting things up here. I'm going to try to set things up with the tank there. I'm going to bring Helga in and see how well she does with her basic attack. Just wanted to get a general sense of how much damage she could do with this particular units here.
My daggers feed on your fear. And now you cannot hide.
So one of the things that you can kind of see now from activating her ultimate is that she went after, like it says, the enemy with the highest HP. So since these tanks here have higher HP than the units that were coming in front of her, that's where she exactly decided to target. So at least for this stage, for this level, she's doing okay. She can manage doing damage. It's not Silitude based damage or arrogance based damage, right? But she does a very good job in terms of when you need her to persistently do damage to an enemy, that she will do that.
Fear thy God and die well.
So here I'm kind of just getting a sense and trying to get just numbers from Comet because I wanted to see. Now remember, if you place a unit ahead of her that has high crit damage, she gains crit damage from that. So by putting Comet ahead of her, I was just trying to see if I could see some of her numbers increase in value.
And now you cannot hide. My daggers feed on your fear.
And as you can see with this boss, she did very well when I activated her ultimate. And a lot of that might be attributed also by the burst that she got from Comet. All right, so I'm just gonna get rid of the boss right now, so it doesn't do anything, put us into any danger. All right, speed this up a little bit. So right now I just want to get the tanks to come up at us. Let's see. All right, so Comet's doing a lot of damage there. She's not really doing her basic, so I just called him back. It's fine. I just wanted to see what she could do against the boss, especially with Comet being right in front of her. So now here's where she starts single targeting. So she can bring, I mean, even if the wave is coming at her, she can bring him down. And you saw how quickly her ultimate can build up too. So I think that this is this kind of this is a good role for her. You know, where there are targets that she can bring down really quick.
My daggers feed on your and you cannot hide.
So here we go again. Her ultimate's activated, and she can bring him down. So at least in this stage, she did a good job. So let me now transition over to a level on the Void Rift hard mode. Just to give you a brief glimpse on the build that I was using to test her in that stage, and then what's going to be becoming here in the Void Rift. is that I did try to give her a little bit of attack, tried to get it to at least to be 3 times what it was her base. So it's around 15,000 attack, as much crit rate as it could. And in this one here, she has around 300 critical damage. So that's kind of the stats that I was playing around with to try to do the initial tests here. And you saw that at least I got her to 300 speed. So here I am in the Void Rift. This is the hard mode. And again, the whole purpose here is going to be just to try to get her to see how well she does in terms of the single target. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here, so you can see now that I'm placing Elder here and Oleg down here to act as tanks. Now, because I did not want to place her here just to make sure that the boulders didn't really fall on us, so I'm not taking advantage of her passive when it comes to the critical damage. But now you can see that she is trying to deal with these little tanks coming at her, and with her ultimate we were able to bring them down just as well. And then down here I have Valkyra as the other example, just to see how well she compared. They both did similar in terms of bringing those units down. Valkyra has about the same build that I have on Helga here.
Their souls are mine to take.
So we're gonna fast forward a little bit more. So here, there's her basic attack. You can kind of get a general sense. Of course, we're getting help from Commit. So I think at some point I'm also gonna call Commit back because I wanted to see what she could do by herself. So here is this big unit again, and I'm just gonna let Helga do what she needs to do. So every single hit, you can see we're getting about 12,000. So it's not bad. I mean, after the compound, you're pretty much bringing down the single target unit. So at the end here, let me see. Do we get one more ultimate? I think we got one more ultimate to get rid of this fellow here, and then she changed targets and brought down the other one.
This is only the beginning.
Now, if it's a wave that has multiple units coming at us, yeah, it's not going to be good. She would really have to get rid of them really quickly. But you can see that left to her own devices, she can manage and do damage very well. So now here I am in Artifact Material Raid. So for me, my go-to girl to beat this stage the first time and to farm it right now is Falcia. And I pair her up with Elder. So I kind of use Elder as the stopgap, and then I bring him down with Falcia and Valkyra. No, excuse me. I farm it with Falcia and Valoraya. Now, for this example here, I'm bringing Elder because I know that I need a little bit more sustain, right? So here is Elder right up front, and here is my Falcia right on top here. And all I want to assess right now is how quickly can Falcia bring this health bar down with the gear that she has on before the boss does his slam and then she dies. So that's what I'm doing right there. And you can see there, we did get killed. And so in this example here, we're almost looking at 3.8. So she did a good job in bringing as much of the health bar as possible. So now what I'm doing is I'm bringing Helga in, and at the same time, I am going to give her a lore boost with my Radiant. So unfortunately, I do not have a Noma or gun on this account, so I can't give her the proper boost that I gave Falcia with Elder. But I'm still trying to get some faction ally boost on her. And so, same example, I just wanted to see, if I activate her ultimate at least once, how far down that HP bar can I bring it? So there it is. I activated her ultimate. So we're only about 15% down. So I was really hoping that it would do a little bit more. Same thing with her basic. Her basic is not doing as much damage as Falsy would do. Even the Falsy is a multi-strike as well. So here we're gonna die. And that is fine. So now I can pause this. Now I'm looking to see how much damage we got from that initial burst. And bringing in Radiant on the same team at the same time. About 1.9. So I wish she would have done better, to be honest. But I guess for that, she did not do very well in there. So if you're gonna bring her in for AMR, you need other big hitters as well to complement her, just to make sure that she can do the job just as well. One of the things I think that I eventually did narrow it down on was that one of the areas that she might help people with maybe is to deal with the side units, because she's single target, right? So if she just focuses on one minion first and then she tries to bring down the next one, I think in that regard she can do very well. I don't think that she's gonna be one that you're gonna faithfully use to rely in terms of bringing down the boss here. I think you're still gonna want to use the tankier ones like Abomination if you have it, or Wrath, just to make sure that you, or Valeria, just to make sure that you can bring up the boss a little bit quicker. So I think, yeah, in that regard, I think from the examples that I collected here, at least with Helga, that I would say that I would leave her to be one of those complementary units to go along with other big hitters. Or you could use her to deal with the side minions here. In that regard, I think she will do very well. So I'm trying to figure out if this is the clip that I had placed her up here, to see if she could do she could bring down those minions without any problems. Yeah, so here I put her on the side. So this is the complementary one. Try to see if I could bring her down. So one of the things that I was hoping here, so this is the example. Okay, so this is what I did. Okay, so I remember now. So one of the things was that I wanted to see, okay, so if I place her down here with her extension, will she hit the minions or will she hit the boss? Because again, the boss is the one with the highest HP, right? So it hit the boss. All right. So if I were to put her down here to deal with this minions here, it would have to be facing away from the boss, because otherwise you're not going to be able, she's going to change the targeting. You're not going to be able to deal with the minions very well. So you would want to probably put it down here and face her in, right? Giving her range. But that definitely, I would not do that, because when those minions come out here and they come right behind her, ideally you would think that she would turn around and deal with them. She won't. She'll just deal with the boss, and then you're gonna have problems dealing with, because they'll probably kill you. Right? So I would not use her for that. I think that if you're gonna use her, yes, it has to be strictly to deal with the boss here, or you're gonna have to bring her up here to deal with the minions up here. Okay, so in that regard, that worked like I wanted it to. Let me see if I did bring her up here. Is that, yeah, so she's up here in this example here. So again, let's just see if the minions, she can deal with the minions. There they come out. Yeah, so she can deal with the side minions. That's no big deal. And if you even wanted to get even a little bit cheeky as well, you could have her face down to try to help with the minions down here. I'm not sure if it would extend. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I probably would reach here to try to deal with this and help deal with the minions down here. But given the account that I have, I would not place her down here. She doesn't add a lot of firepower to bring down the boss if you have her to try to clear AMR 18. But I think that for the side units here, that's where I would put her in. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to take advantage of her range like you would if you had Arrogance or Cecility. So you're going to have to make sure that you do face her outward though, because otherwise her targeting would just focus on the boss and the minions are probably going to bring you down while you are attacking them. So that's one of her downsides, pitfalls here when it comes to AMR. So yeah, if you're going to use her, it'll be to deal with the units up here. Talking about the guild bus here, so this is just an example here. This is one of the runs that I had done with my regular composition, where I set things up so Abomination, Valaraya, and Damus, along with Blada, kind of do most of the work here, along with Rise here on the side. Now, the reason that I decided to kind of compare her to what Wrath can do is because Wrath is here all by himself. Number one, he's not getting a boost from anybody. He actually does not get the lore bonus because of how I have things set up on the top. So given now that I have Toro lore that gives me the lore bonus, pretty much everybody else, the 4 here are on the top row. So that leaves Wrath on the bottom, and he does not get the benefit of the lore bonus. So he's here out here by himself. He doesn't get the extra speed. He does not get the extra faction allies burst that we customarily see from him, gaining from the lore bonus. So in this run here, let me fast forward a little bit just to save you a little bit of time, and not looking at the whole run. I did have the same gear that I'm going to give her here, so you can see there 23 6, and he gave me about 15 million damage when it came to the end in trying to get that done. So now I'm just going to give Helga the gear, try to test out with the similar setup. So let me fast forward a little bit. So I'm setting things up the same way that I would have with Helga. Okay. And now I'm just looking to see if this multi-strike and the damage then gets compounded a little bit. I'm just going to kind of give you an idea here of how things are running. And I'm going to then fast forward a little bit. So here we are as we are approaching the 3rd shield. And remember, right now I'm just trying to compare Wrath to Helga under the same premise. Okay. So I'm not giving her any advantage in terms of gaining attack from an Invigoration set. She's not gaining attack from Dolores. This is just pure same set, trying to assess how much damage she can give us within the long drawn out battle with the dragon. So we were able to break that shield. Now I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Right, and it said complete. Here we go, and we got to 23 as well. And then when I look at her damage, it was about 10. So actually my other heroes did better than that in that trial than Helga did. So unfortunately, when I was comparing Wrath straight up with Helga, Wrath did a little bit better than that. Now, the other things that I decided to do with the same formation is that I was actually then started toying around, and I decided to swap Damus out, and I put her in. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to give her the advantage of having attack up from Dolores and then at the same time get a little bit of a boost from the invigoration set that Dolores had. So now everybody, the same setup that I did before, everybody has attack. Now I'm just going to put Damon's here to the side. Now, number one, I am going to lose damage. There's no question on that, because I am putting now Damon's to the side. He's not getting any boost whatsoever. And Bladov is in the same spot here. But one of the things that I wanted to see was, even with this multi-strike that she had, is could she, even with all the boosts that I'm giving this composition, right? Could she take Damon's spot? Could she actually help the composition bring down that third shield? So let me get a little bit closer here to the... It was the second shield, I think it was. And no, I don't think that this is going to come down. And so this is where I pretty much ended this part of the test here. And I just wanted to see how much damage we got from this play test. Once I put her right at the front, where she was getting the benefit from everybody and trying to get. And so one of the things that disappointed me right away, even with the advantages that I gave her, is that even that my Damus. Now remember, Damus was one of the major damage dealers that I had from the first run. So let me pause it. Come on, be nice. Okay, right there. All right. Right away. Damus, who's at the side. He did not have the benefit of the invigoration set or from Dolores' attack boost, inspiration boost. Helga did. Helga could not keep up. And even though I just had Radiant there for the lower bonus, that didn't even bump her up to what I wanted her to do. Now, she is an Esotericist. I don't know if she was a Nightmare Council hero, if she would do similar damage. But right away, this told me she's not going to be a guild boss unit. I think that based on her her talent and where how she deals the damage that she deals, I think that one of the areas where she will excel in is going to be the Immortal Codex, and then any situation where you're going to come about where you need to just focus on a single target and bring that unit down as quickly as possible. Guild versus guild, not holding out too much hope for her there as well, because again, single target, and if you're in, and she can't deal with air. So I think that if you're limited on your roster, yes, maybe to try to, you know, maybe bring down one of the tanks. I'm not sure if she's going to do well against the knight, but I'm afraid to test her in GVG, to be honest. But we could give it a try. But I can tell you that for my account, there are going to be some niche situations where I can probably use her. When her faction trials open, I'll probably look to see how well she fits in there. But given that she's a single target hitter, man, we like for the Esotericist faction trials, we really do like the multi-hitter. But we can give it a whirl and see if she does well there. And, you know, she's another fighter with an extended range, so we need that. We welcome that. We'll use her. That's kind of a preview of what I can give you of this hero Helga, which has been introduced in the Forerunners server. I have no idea when she will be introduced in the public server. They haven't told us yet, but she will certainly be most likely a Shard Summon event, just like it was here in the Forerunners server. So with that, folks, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more content related Watcher Realms, and I will see you all in the next video.